ô nè cứ ye khét tại lại bây giờ yeah. nhớ trong là只cái này trang就做碰遇，才能做到个要做手 YouTube， 要做手或手做之下到 Facebook 了，要开始开始个，每么被手晒补补叫 click video 的，要做开出去。lúc sau呢要lúc sau个呀，我也叫被路蒙晒哈，叫刚做好事情就是么要做对前面个样刚对。คือไปเตาถ่านวันดูกว่าจูละสิกูเตาหมดปลาคาผู้จบไปวันดูกว่าจูคืออย่าหาจูจัวเล็กคือไปมองหาตายาตั้งนอนนู่นนะยอ但是嘛หลัวเต้ตู้เจอตุ้นเจจีปวดจีหูเล่นตาน่ะปวดหัวตายาเล็กคืออย่าลูซีอย่าจงลูนู่ซื้อน่ะจะอย่าเล่นตาลูเสือนอนอย่าจบไปได้เช้าไม่กายอย่าเก่าอีมองหนึ่งก็จวนนาทีน่ะจะอย่าเล่นตา但是那对莫一路拱护คืออย่าปวด对路อย่า发จุดเต้นเลย我就路来了，就要来到这个要来自呢，那么做到就干播哈，就说被晒，好像做来的个路公后那啥，就要就要那个搞澳门的过来嘛来，就要来到古要来的那就干门的个古呢，这古要晒那到烤呀，古要晒那到冲的，呀古要叫别么晒那到冲，那叫别么晒那到冲，这路上的那这呀。bố tăng tỏ khá hạt tại rong lấy chàng tê toán nền cứ tua rú đã say rong lấy chàng nó là chỗ không chỉ cho tụ chỉ ở lên tàu bê rú bố ha sọ ca tàu rư ha say rong lấy chàng nè chỉ ta sẽ nó mà bố tê tu mua số sự chỉ yên nhóc họ thuộc họ chờ lên nè chờ lên cái khó là nó chỉ bố yếu cho lũ khá bố cho bê ổn tụ khó rú ha nó nó bố yếu thay bữa yếu mua ya chọn nó cũng nhẹ nhá bữa sổn tu ha bữa là yếu mua cho con thay cái thay sổn bông ăn gì mong ha nè chỉ giờ lên đó chỉ khó cứ họ nam mẹ bù lên nó là chỉ giờ lúc xì nè khó cứ mẹ bù nó giờ lúc xì chỉ giờ lên đó khó nó giờ khó cứ ya nó nó bây yếu chọn càng sai ha bên này từ họ rú tàu nó là họ rú sai nhá cho tao ya cú lì YouTube nè sai tao YouTube ha tao Facebook nè giờ chỉ ta sẽ nói chỉ bữa cháu tu mua số sự chỉ yên nhóc họ chụp họ chơi rồi nè nhóc cháu chụp họ chơiเลยchỉ mà thằng này bữa cháu bây giờ là cháu cứ ya nhóc chụp cứ ya để YouTube ha để Facebook ha nè nè họ ya cháu phong cứ nhóc chụp TikTok nó là ya mẹ ya nhóc tàu nó là cú ya phim mua tì một chỗ sang tì ha nó là thằng lô tiêu thằng lô mà stop bữa có lên đó vậy dùng lấy cái bữa chạy tàu bố cố lên tại là sử dụng lấy trắng bố lên tại là ta sử dụng lấy cái cố lên ya sao ya một tay mình lấy trắng cho cố lên sử tới tức tự hai mặt ta sự cha cú chia sẻ một chuyện thì họ sự cả tự rồi nè mở thêm xem tí trình tự
And this was back in the year 1887 that people started waiting for today's event. And just to put that into context, at that time, the United States only had 38 states instead of the 50.
nó nói về bữa gì anh nhớ ino lù
The country of Canada
yeah sai
was
để
only
hắn
20 years old. So, to say the least, we've been waiting a long time for this eclipse, and we've really got our fingers crossed for
工作时候小李不晒到有图纸不搞的呢
We're looking at some great images of the sun on our
不
screen.
嘛那是晒古哈
We've
抓
also got
晓得就那个古纸纸不哈打
we've got our timeline there on the left of the screen.
我要过学晒用来加着呢
Our little moon already moving across there, or a little sun and moon, we could say. This is our timeline. It shows when the partial eclipse starts in Mexico on the mainland there, and then it shows totality at our different with our different partners across down the bottom there. So we're looking at totality in about an hour and a half-ish. So that's going to be fun. So yeah, we're going to do a 4-hour show. We've given a start of the show with the partial.
不但呀那就
Yeah.
rồi cái mỗi tụ này tại ya cú đi tới na ya chỉ tới rồi cú đi tới
Yes,
tới
we do.
ha
So eclipses are magical, memorable occasions, but there are also always very sad stories after eclipses of people visiting eye doctors with eye problems that they've got from looking at the sun without proper protection during a solar eclipse. And there really are no second chances on this, and if your eyes get damaged, there is really nothing that eye doctors can do for you. So we really do want to just reinforce the safety message that you would have been hearing a lot of in recent weeks and days, and that is
身材不要么呢报名人家长
directly at the sun without proper
人家长呀不么
and we're talking here about things like solar eclipse glasses
不么公布哈就哈的
from a place that you know and that you trust. And we'll also just remind everybody to read the safety instructions that are printed on solar eclipse glasses.
也到么鼓励包哈就那
Check
啥
them for damage. Make sure they're not creased or bent or damaged in any way. If you have any doubts
在面谈就到啊
about the glasses, then just throw them away. Get rid of them. It's not worth taking the risk. Also, don't just stand there staring up at the sun all day for hours on end through the eclipse glasses.
Not dear.
For a short time, and then take a break. Share the glasses. Pass them.
哎呀那个要有知道剪的播那不呀有知道剪的播那这要有炸弹弹那这呀粗播就剪了
But we're going to be here also for the next 4 hours showing you what it looks like. So no need for any safety, just us there. So in 10 minutes we've got first contact in Mazatlán.
I was just checking the clouds. Yes.
So and the moon will start covering the sun and that's all we're going to do.
thằng lúa cứ mong vàng đã lỡ có stop bữa đó说拿啥来接不知道等呢。第二个操作呢，老鸟好呢，加到老白天包没多呀，到个嘛。也没有补录的，没蒙晒要做到没晒要做到个YouTube 呢，没晒到 YouTube 才来补录很好。要做到 YouTube 这才来补录很了。你们查过读 YouTube 但做容了呢？你查读呢？读呢？读呢？这要做到了啊。mình sẽ cho tao nó chè mình sẽ tao nó này mình sai từ YouTube thì mình muốn sai tạo YouTube thì để bù lo nữa thì bỏ lo bọn này chỉ bù thả cũng chủ sai sư nữa cứ sai sư cho phong duyệt nhau cho hồ YouTube nữa thì mình sáng nữa chỉ là sau comment đó này thì chỉ tao subscriber này thì họ ban subscriber phụ trợ của ha cho khỏi TikTok chị thay tao chọn đáng là vậy sẽ YouTube quảng cáo cho khỏi TikTok chị thay tao chọn đáng là vậy ok rồi giờ này thì sáng say mong đi qua chủ cho thầu cần cao chế cho cho số nữa cũng要知多嘛主做头更高的哈但是只包大小呀包大呀姑娘太薄了是知道给找接的薄小薄不被晒么大的呢这种的讲到了呀国没补的老师姐对 OK 哈cho cứ nhớ cho của TikTok của mình có lục bút là chỉ khá bút cho mình ta để nó do khó cứ bên mong ta ya đang nọ nu nữa nè chỉ khó tay mình chỉ有去是做头个狗澳门但是nó có nó mà 可能要可能都要不太入力它呢，但是呢也不太入力哦，lúc đó chỉ giờ lúc xí nè, lúc đó dùng để giờ lúc xí nè. Và sau đó chỉ bắt đầu nó đọc khó lên đó, giờ biết sai khó nó là chỉ bắt đầu nó đọc khó lên nè. Tại vì bây giờ tụ cái control bắt là chỉ bị cho tàu sai cho họ ta bắt là chỉ ít lại chỉ bắt cho ít lúc ít lại thì bắt cho ít lúc rồi nè. Bắt một lần đầu lúc công khai nè. Nasa le je yo ya ipla mà le tờ nè, nasa le yo ya cậu ôm mong kia nè, cho cậu plau nà thia, cho cậu plau nà thia je bỏ le mà le tờ nè, je tại bỏ le tờ nè je tê rồi, bỏ luôn nà cũng chỉ bỏ tại lên từ lúc 2 độ nè, đó là nasa lúc giờ lúc cứ 2 độ nè, nasa lúc cái 2 độ. Nó là luôn ra tê cứ ta nó bị nhau đó thì chú càng cứ lúc khi có thà luôn mong thì chú càng cứ cứu nó nữa cứ chỉ có những số là nè nó bỏ sẽ lo khát tới chơi bỏ sao đâu tao họ chỉ để họ chỉ ta sẽ nó thì bỏ sẽ nó chỉ bỏ có chọn lúc khi sư này vậy bỏ chọn lúc khi sư chỉ xây chỉ ít chỉ chỉ bây giờ bù了bây giờ bù头个呀路路是呀路闹 OK 的呢一起就不要补好了呢一起就不要补呀你慢慢种蛋炒路闹了路闹估计不它路是路西的看到呀但是呢吃包的也不要找呀路了是路西呢再不然那啥不找不了做cứ cho giống ở nền MEKAS mà chơi chắp lờ lê ở bua cho công khai mà giống chắp lờ lê ở giờ cơ mà buôn mà chơi hành liễu ha cho công khai mà thay đổi giống hành này nhưng mà xa cho một bút cho bó sen nàyตัวไส้กูเลบอกว่าร้อนหน่อยไปจุดบอกก็นู่น就离身之家杨老师傅阿杜嘞阿杜晓得我都知道阿杜俩大我嘛của mà mua ya của mà mua sao cho có thể cho mà sư phụ của chẳng nhớ để chế我来好了到嘛我来的cho phong dữ là chế của yếu mong tháo vào chú cho tập của yếu ý bộ lợi chế chạy của yếu nhột xa rồi chạy của yếu nhột xa rồi của yếu sống từ đầu cho走准备晒了，也是多叫我们逃外去的精彩，有你要杀了，哎。梦逃外去之类梦认真的是，有一把。lúc con cú lúc sau tông là chỉ cú sứ cú lúc đấy thì nó sẽ chỉ lúc nào chỉ cú chọn nó sẽ cú chọn nó sẽ chỉ 呀还要过来有土也不吃多了，有土的吃多了，但是主要过叫被要过么到上那得过也弄吃到被么晒啊好吃那是。cho khó ya cú sáng bù khó nữa nó hắn là vậy khó ya nát xaเลยhắn cú sáng bù nát xaเลยha thì chỗ còn là thì áo khẩu bữa nay ya nhà chủ ya dùng ý dạng nhauเลยha ta nhà tới nhà mình chỉ là chủ ya有sáng bù但是不留注意不太呢是不太容易讲是。但是呢，这要不做好的认知木来的保证的要维纳提的呢，这他数目的呢，但是嘛不的大头个澳门那么做头北蒙菜这要认真度到嘛，路诺路里要路甚至是错给那要这路里要路中路诺这原来不才要到九公太稳定啊，不才九公太稳定。này chỉ có thay đổi chỉ có thay vấn đề tỏ xưa nè chỉ luật tứ tỏ tại nó nó là tại sao mà chỉ muốn là chỉ tứ tỏ tại số mong tứ vi là thì tứ là tại sao mà luật cho cứ yên tại chuyên trang đó là sẽ chỉ có thay đổi rồi tao chỉ có thay vấn đề rủ tỏ lúc nó cú chỉ bao tại giờ lúc là lúc xì li hát ta lúc nó sẽ giờ lúc cả但是呢不我对来lúc多呢简才lúc nó giờ lúc xì ó cho khó ta但是呢这lúc xì你梦上升你梦在那个在做哪呢你梦在做哪但是lúc nu là chỉ lúc nu chỉ là một trận nó là lúc nu giờ to cho các một cho sang sảnh nọ là chỉ bây giờ con nó giờ lúc bây giờ con nó giờ lúc liễu cho có bây giờ mà lúc rồi bây giờ mà lúc hay rồi chỉ ta sẽ lúc thì chỉnh nhau đỡ cha được bây giờ mà lúc mà ta sẽ nó dị mong知道路啦，这智蒙就不给啦。毛都路很好，但是那边啊，异蒙嘛，立马发挥了。不看要准了呢，但是不收我路没干，这被人知道中了。第二个莫非我23节报。就他chờ lợn mà đợt tích tổng là chỉ cú bao phai lên nữa thì có ta nó đu yo đu nó nè bùa tàu đua ta sẽ là bị ta tỏ chỗ can nữa ta sẽ là bị ta tỏ chỗ can sư
see a bit of Mexico there in the top right corner of the screen. We're going to keep this live map up on the screen for the duration of the eclipse, so you'll be able to see exactly who is getting totality at any particular time during today's total solar eclipse.
thằng nó chơi bắt ta tao kha hả ta lossis lăng picture txhawb kmนั่นแหละแล้วก็ต้องตัดคาเล่นแต่ก็但是呢，这不打打要做轮就做不叫多么舒适呢。也说呢，你要你考啊，哪会呢？你要你考啊。好，我一脚点要打 J， 啊，真的。
When Graham was talking about the
Huh?
path of the total eclipse, the centre line of the eclipse literally goes through the middle of that lake. So we're just off the centre.
真的这叫个要咱公看要到中的哇。
It's 26 seconds of totality here, so it's an absolutely brilliant spot.
不嘛，不叫公看都很了，不叫公看，但是嘛，不一会儿要连接 OK 呢。
It's looking good. If there's anything that UK astronomers have, it's optimism about the weather.
这ตัวไหนลูกเขามัวเจชิมัวฝิ่งเตาแล้ว
Yeah, looking at the clouds there, Neil. I mean, yeah, you are just down the road from us, and it is looking very similar to what we've got here, just up the road from you in.
但是呢，คือมีผู้人呢，我เอาเขาดูแล้วนะเจ้าเขา呢直播的要对面知道的。
Here we're pretty sheltered on this veranda. We're staying at the most amazing ranch. So we've got a really good spot out of the wind. The shadow that you were talking about, that's going to be passing hopefully towards us from the southwest direction. And yeah, so it's looking not too windy. The sun's shining at the moment, and as long as it's doing that at 1:34, then we'll be very happy.
Excellent stuff. Yes, and yeah, Neil, you said you're over here from the UK. You run this amazing organisation in the UK called Goes Stargazing, and you do all these incredible things to encourage people to get out and enjoy the night sky. We're going to be collaborating with you again in September, in fact, when we have a lunar eclipse coming up. Could you tell us a little bit more about Goes Stargazing and the work you do?
I will just do that in just a second as that helicopter flies over. Perfect. You obviously wanted to be on your live stream. So there they go. So go stargazing. So I'm a real amateur astronomer. I love getting people on my guys looking through telescopes. It's kind of my hobby. And as a little extension of my hobby, I run Go Stargazing, which is a data.
第二，我们没讲给不要苦公太这古梦了，一般这没查拉塞了。
UK-based website, and it just enables people who are interested, if they have a go, if they're interested in astronomy, then it gives them all of the information they need, what to do might go, and yeah, it's fun. It's good fun.
Yeah, it is terrific stuff that you guys do there. So good stuff. Neil, we will let you get back to keeping an eye on the telescopes and everything there. Thanks again for sending us a feed from there. We're excited to see that. And yes,
I will
good
try
luck.
and get that working, Graham.
Excellent.
Yeah, no. I will get that
Good
working.
stuff, and, yeah.
I'll look at it now.
Good.
And yeah, cool. And hey, thank you for all of these fabulous solar glasses as well.
You're welcome, Neil.
Really good brands. No, thank you.
Excellent.
Good luck to everybody there back in Rano. Good luck to everybody, chasing the eclipse across the USA.
Brilliant stuff. Yeah, thanks a lot, Neil.
Thanks a lot, Neil.
All
Here
right,
in
cool.
Lana, we've been working closely with the visitor centre over the past year or so. We've been working with Tony Idros, Rebecca Flint and Kim Webb. It's a wonderful town. There's about 3,000 people living here. I'm sure there's a few more here today. And they really feel like an extension of this our team, this gang. They've been welcoming us here at the visitor centre with water, coffee, toilets, all the things you need, at least, and internet and power for this eclipse broadcast. So we're just crossing our fingers for clearer skies so that they can experience the total solar eclipse. It's just amazing to experience totality. So I'm really got my fingers crossed. But wherever you are, be sure to look at timeofday.live. That's where we have more information about the eclipse, news feed, pictures, all reactions on social media. So don't go anywhere because we're going to be right here soon as well.
And we should also just say, keep an eye on our San Diego feed because that's where the action will be starting in just a few minutes.
That is true.
We'll see first contact where the moon just starts to nibble away at the sun there in San Diego. So keep an eye on this beautiful picture that we're getting from San Diego. The eclipse is also underway in Mazatlan in Mexico, and we're going to be bringing pictures from Mazatlan as well. So yes, it's all just about to start.
Perfect.
chắc phooj rồi thì chắc cứ nhau cho để cứ TikTok là mình của nó là mình nhau để nó rú là cũng chúng ta số tổng một thì của được chuyện làm sẽ NASA qua hắn nói là NASA lên nữa thì sẽ NASA lên bộ tại đó nè rồi lên NASA qua lên hai đua xuống nè.
And Sarah, as you know, there's all
nó giờ nà xa bữa lên nè sẽ bữa lên cái mà này sẽ trong đó bữa lên nhỏ quá tới tao giờ bữa tới tới có nà thiệt này nè bữa cháu bữa mua lúc ăn là chỉ bữa say to nữa chỉ mình say cho nào tôi này chú chung cho tất cả nó chỉ cho tôi này cứ ya để cho tôi này cứ ya tôi rú say này vậy cho bị sạch tôi rú say này hát tê tôi này tôi chờ tôi chỉ bữa tôi rú say này thì để ít sang nó có thể chọn bù minh之类nó có chọn cho nó thằng nó chỉ có nhiều khó lùa是塔斯的但是这台 pla 只不过要找就被晒呢可能要就这样子不我看不就背了要哦，才知道知道这呀在贴着背哈那种。này nó cho tôi này cái tua rú nè, nó cho tôi này cái tua rú say nè, mình sẽ qua cho chiến đấu tôi sử tua lên nè, ha bố muốn đau bỏ lên nó cho tu mua số sử nhá họ sẽ khó chơi nè, cho công thái này giống, như tôi chua thái chơi nè. Mình cho này là sao?เขาน่าจะพอจะแต่อยากจะจอบไปใส่เขาแต่นั้นโอ้ปีเลยเนอะจะพูดอยู่เนอะปีเลยเนอะไม่ใช่ยาหกก้างอ๋อไม่ใช่ปีหกก้างนะไม่ใช่คนนั้นนะอยากกูย่าเจ๊กูเตยเตะจนไม่ใช่เจ๊มีปุ๊บปีนั้นนะเจ๊ลูกนั้นเดี๋ยวอย่าลูกนู่นนะลูกทีใจลูกตู้นะแต่是呢ไม่ใช่เขาตอนได้นะ名字นะเขานั่นแหละเจ๊ป้ากูคาแต่是ลูกจูเขานั่นแหละนั่นนะแต่是ลูกจูเขานั่นแหละไม่ใช่นะใช่พวกเรา说噻啊。ปีเมย์ๆนะอีตัวพิธีโชว์คอมเมนต์ตัวโจหัวYouTubeแต่เด้真就是年糕糯嘛是做一肉炒晒晒炸都炸馍ไปดูเนี่ยมอนจะไปดูปูซื้ออยากเกินละแต่สมัยนี้เราได้จุดแล้วฮะเลยจะขอนะอย่าจะไปหา đến thế mà mỗi già này bây giờ thầu nó là chế tiếp pi rồi nữa, ta sẽ thầu nó mà đi tàu đi chán à, cha thầu cứ ya lúc nó lúc kháng nó lúc lắp trong số nó lại chế thầu đó chế lúc trâu chế thầu họ á. Sẽ để có tụ Facebook giờ là khó từ cho khó từ có một tạo của tụ Facebook thì của tí mua share cho tao nữa, ta sẽ còn là thì nếu như khá cho các lựa cho tao YouTube đó là gì à, cho khó tạo của ya like tao một tại tao nè, của cho ya share tao một cho tao gì à, thì có tí sai nhau cho được cái YouTube nó là chỉ có sai nhau cho được YouTube nó gì à. Và sau đó thì NASA có cuộc khá nữa, NASA có lấy cuộc khá nữa. Sai NASA có khá để chẳng cho, anh ấy là NASA đấy nè.
They've got a time of totality of 3 minutes, 49 seconds, plenty of time to really sit back and bask in their moment in the fully eclipsed sun. I'm going to be tracking all of this all throughout the afternoon for you to make sure that you do not miss a second of this coverage. Even if you're outside of that path of totality like we are right here, more than 99% of the U.S. is going to be able to see at least a partial eclipse. Some places are already experiencing, you just saw that footage from Mazatlan a little while ago, they are already experiencing a partial eclipse. And as always, if you are in a partial, be sure to wear proper eye protection to protect your vision so you can safely enjoy today's
Có khá ta do bây giờ cứ cho nên cho sang chỗ bây giờ sai là chỉ bây giờ tụi tông lúc ăn được này, mà bây giờ lại sai tàu nữa này. Giờ có chân tông lúc ăn này chỉ có sai tàu nữa này. Cho cái chụp bên một số luôn nó cho có ta bớt tàu nó nè, không mình nhau không nào nè. Sai luôn nó mà luôn nó sai đây bù mày chụp bên này. mình sai của nó mình sai nó nè mình sai ya nó rú lên lại đó nè nè nó rú lên nè chú cá chỉ ta sử nè nhau là nó nè nó phải tận nó nè lúc công thay sổ nó là những một tuần này ya có trở lại nè chỉ mình sai nhau sổ nó là chỉ要sổ đủ đó khó số nó chỉ là số đủ nó khó số nó họ lúc lắp rồi nó chỉ là lúc cũng thay tàu mua sông đủ cho nó sự nè họ khó số tại多số nó là chỉ là tại nhau số đủ tại cái hàng nhau số đủ rồi nè bữa时也要二路公太呢一路太路怒nè一路chỉ thay này mình xem một ý giờ từ từ sáu hoa sự nè chỉ ta sẽ nói chỉ bắt ta sau lúc cho nên nó chỉ 要被人家或者被捕入公太那晒啊，但是嘛被只人家得被晒入到那死人了。比如说人熊一擦脚脖就有吃路怒哈路里故事招哈，呀要嘛。đều thấy sai cho buổi trưa trước đây thầu mà ya thầu cái bé ya giá tờ lô giá tờ mà cho tiền chế rồi lúc sau nó bây giờ chúng ta làm tê rồi chế thầu đây mà bé mà ô giá tờ đó là ta thầu đây bé chỉ yêu thầu sai cho buổi trưa trước có cũng mua cậu xiong cũng mua cậu bé xiong cậu ở xiong nhỏ nè thầu đây mà cũng yêu tao á mà bé mà giá tờ tao hết thực giá đấy nè thầu đây này 每到我多种晒我干哪没再来补哈，但你长肉了呢。这但是呢，这北来上招了呀，叫知道公太叫没晒了，北来上招嘛，人要或打种地里那，但是嘛，北了的，北了这男人招的那路了那样，男人招的那路这呀，男人招的那路这呀，只是包了哈不呀，就靠呀路拿抄的哈的边呀。cho người cho hút tích tổ ya này thì lo các là chế khá bút cho mẹ ta để nó ya lăng nó nu nó nè nhớ rồi bây giờ chờ mẹ cá mi sai nè bi rù rồi nè bi rù đó họ lúc nó thì lúc con thay nhớ cho tí sau nó ya thay luôn nè lúc con thay là thay luôn nè chế ta sẽ nó để lo khá tới chờ ta bi rù cho con nó lại nè chế mi sai ya blue rù rồi chọc phô hữu blue rù lên nè blue rù nè chọc phô hữu cho bó hạt ta của chót dài mê lưu sầu no nè cha lê ya bụt lát láng nè ya cha lê bụt lát láng nè chế cú cha lê chỉ cho mê lưu sầu nó thả lưu nữa hay有不然呢，这古有梦呀，做到时他会煮来看那样，这要领导这呀，要没来就呀上晒过单炒呢，这面蒙晒到有土呢，面蒙茶古董有土单做容了呢，有土单做容了呢，这古人发直接带做到有土到 Facebook 都是了，这面蒙晒到了到呢。这但是这波比龙肉了呢。Có mặt trận ở đâu mà toàn nói mấy câu vớ vẩn gì đó không có tôi bao đã chỉ có hạ đây có tôi say à nó rồi
You're watching a total summer that's here on time and
mình sẽ ya bữa sang trống này nè bữa sang trống này nè mình sẽ chọn là chỉ là lúa cái sống chuẩn đũa nãy là lúa cái bữa chọc bù luôn luôn nè
and not only are we getting started, MEKAS getting started, but the party is getting started here in Lana.
Cái chương trình mà bữa bù lên nó mà bữa yên chạy cơ lên là lại mấy cứ nhỏ một tranh là cho chương trình cái hay hình chạy更高lên rồi nè bữa yên chỉ sao bù đến nó lên nè bữa yên chỉ sao bù đến nó lên nè
right now just above us have a look difficult to see at the moment but
难啦，要打长波的，还要难啦，要打长波的，多嘛，三角你讲按的些波补的，还呢，没啥呀，闹熟的咯，不熟的了。
In a way, it's one of the most magical moments of a solar eclipse. We've spent over months and years planning for this event, and finally, the eclipse begins just very quietly, very unnoticeably, when we just see that very
我这边嘛是呀，拿啥嘞？应用plan是弄讲呢？
by the moon. It happens
呢，不然老包过太了呢呢，这边晒了那是。
very undramatically.
Okay. 用嚟佢呀，估嘢收多那就不如忙。
From first contact, the moon then keeps eating away at the sun's disk until we arrive at totality, when the moon covers the whole of the sun. Today there's around about an hour and a quarter between the start of the partial eclipse and totality, when the last bit of the sun gets covered by the moon. First contact is really completely unnoticeable. Around about half an hour into the partial eclipse, that's when you can really start to notice things happening on the ground. That's when you might start to notice some changes in temperature. That's when you might start to notice some strange things happening with shadows that the sun is casting. As the moon is eating away at the sun, it's turning the sun into a thinner and thinner crescent. So instead of the sun being this round light source in the sky, it ends up as this sort of very thin strip of light in the sky. And where you have objects that are casting shadows, if you have an edge of an object that is aligned with that thin crescent of the sun, then it casts a shadow edge that is much sharper than one that is perpendicular to that thin crescent of the sun. So you can start to notice objects having sharper and more blurry shadows depending on how they're aligned with the narrowing crescent sun. All of that happens around about, say, half an hour into the partial phase. Right now across the United States, first contact is happening as the eclipse sweeps towards the east. For first contact, that's something you can only notice if you're really looking carefully for it. And of course, you have to be looking carefully using proper eye protection, like eclipse glasses. And Anna, you've got an interesting message about eclipse glasses.
Yes, because we've been having these eclipse glasses out, and loads of eclipse glasses available for people that got ISO certification, they're from reputable sources, so people are lucky here in London to have eclipse glasses. But the strongest without borders, our friends at AWB, they are collecting used eclipse glasses from the eclipse. And what they do is they send it to underserved communities internationally. They take the glasses, they inspect them, they make sure that everything's okay with them, that they're not damaged or fake or anything like that, and they send them across the world for the eclipses. You can find collection centres at libraries, community centres, commercial businesses, wherever you just have to check. You can also go to astronomerswithoutborders.org to see if there's a local recycling centre. And it's just so nice to know that these things will be used for more eclipses.
Absolutely, it's a fabulous campaign that they run, and it really gives all kinds of people an opportunity to see an eclipse in parts of the world where otherwise they wouldn't be able to see it. So great campaign to support. Stick with us here on timeanddate.live. We're enjoying great pictures from San Diego, where it's just going to be around about a 50% partial eclipse today. We're coming up towards first contact in Arkadelphia in Arkansas. First contact there is 1731 UTC, so in around about 8 minutes from now we'll see first contact in Arkadelphia. as soon as the clouds reveal the sun, we'll be having pictures from Neil Sanders here in Lano. So lots and lots to come. Do have a look at timeupdate.live where we have all the updates from around the world and pictures and blog posts and comments and all the latest news on there. And Anna and I will be back here shortly.
What you
watching a total solar eclipse here on timeanddate.com, and we're looking at some gorgeous images there from San Diego, California, and Arkadelphia, Arkansas. We can see that the moon has started eating away at the sun, so the eclipse has begun in Arkansas as well. So excited about that. We have been experiencing some problems getting our images in from Mazatlan. There's some technical issues there. We're really sorry about that. We're trying to see what we can do, but we still have telescopes here waiting for totalities, so we're not going to miss totality of this total solar eclipse. We're getting questions and comments on YouTube about the sunspots, Graham.
Right, looking at the feed coming in there from San Diego, we can see two dark spots on the surface of the sun, and those are indeed sunspots. Yeah, the sun is a big ball of plasma, kind of a big ball of charged gas, and there's lots of activity going on. There's lots of magnetic field activity going on, and there are some regions which are cooler than others. And where we have these cooler regions, that is what produces these dark areas known as sunspots. Now, Anna, the sun does have an 11-year solar cycle where we tend to go from very low numbers of sunspots to generally much higher number of sunspots. And we are nearing the solar maximum in this 11-year cycle. We are getting close to the period where we would expect to see a high number of sunspots. And so there has been a lot of expectation and a lot of people looking forward to being able to see a lot of sunspots during this eclipse. In fact, the sun is fairly quiet at the moment, and we really do just have these two sunspots that are visible on this side of the sun at the moment. So yeah, a lot quieter and a lot fewer sunspots than we might have expected for this eclipse. But yeah, on the feed there from San Diego, we can see those two dark spots, one slightly larger than the other. Yeah, slightly cooler regions of the sun's surface.
But back home in Norway, we've been experiencing a lot of aurora lately, and I think that has to do with the sunspots, right? Like it's got to do with the activity on the sun, right?
It does, yeah. This 11-year solar cycle, it really that's really a cycle for how active the sun is. And when the sun is active, that's when we get more sunspots, and that's also when we get more aurora here on Earth. That's right. We get more prominences. We tend to get more solar flares. The sun is chucking out a lot more stuff in Earth's direction. So you're right. In Norway, this winter has been a good period for aurora.
Yeah. Just go out, look north, and you might be lucky to see some. It's really amazing. Does it affect the eclipse in any way? This active sun?
Well, one thing that when we come to totality, and we'll be talking about this again a bit later, at totality, the real highlight there when the moon is covering the sun's visible surface is that we can see the solar corona, which is the outer part of the sun's atmosphere. It's there all the time, but it's much fainter than the sun's disk itself, so we usually can't see it. We can see it during totality, during a solar eclipse. And yeah, the shape of the corona, that also changes over the course of this 11-year solar cycle. Around solar maximum, the sun's corona is rather more symmetrical, whereas around solar minimum, the corona is kind of more stretched out, more like a pair of wings. So that is going to be something for us to have a look out for when we get to totality. Coming up here in Llano, in less than an hour, now 1834 UTC, post-totality here in Llano. So we're getting close. We have to say that actually, I mean, here on the ground, really still nothing, I mean, nothing to see in the sky because of the clouds, but really nothing to see yet in terms of changes in light levels, or there's really no sense at all that anything is going on with the sun up there above the clouds. But that's all going to start to change rather dramatically over the course of the next 40 minutes.
And we're going to continue putting our eclipse glasses on, looking up, because as soon as that sky, those clouds get a bit lighter, we can actually see the sun through the clouds, and we have been looking at the sun, moon eating away at the sun, so it's been beautiful. If you're lucky enough to be in a part of totality, or even just in a partial area, use your eclipse glasses and take a look. If not, go to timeanddate.live and check out our live news feed. We've got pictures, we've got reactions, we've got all the interesting background stories. We even have stories from the road here in Texas, United States. So we will be back soon. In the meantime, we're going to be looking up at the sky and trying to find the sun. You're watching a total solar eclipse here on timeanddeck.com, and we're getting excited. The light levels are changing here. We're using our glasses. We're looking up, and what is it, like 50%, Brian?
Yes. We're getting up to around 50% here in Lano. That's right.
Yeah, so we're feeling like the eclipse changing a little bit. But weather, we're facing with challenging clouds everywhere. North America is full of clouds. Philadelphia is struggling with clouds. Mexico, they're struggling with clouds. But what can we do? We can look up and see what we can see. So, where are we, Graham, with the eclipse?
Well, if we take a look at our live eclipse map, this is on the right-hand side of the screen. This just above us, right? This shows us where the moon's dark shadow is right now, and it is racing across the Pacific, and it is just about to reach the coast of Mexico. The first city in North America to experience totality today is the city of Mazatlan on the Pacific coast of Mexico, and totality is starting there in the next minute, because as we can see, that red dot is just about to reach land on our live eclipse map there. As Anna was explaining earlier, unfortunately we don't have images from Mazatlan today, but what we do have is the next city along the path of totality in Mexico. Once the shadow has passed over Mazatlan, next on its itinerary is the city of Torreon in Mexico. And our good friends at the Exploratorium have their telescopes on the ground there in Torreon. Totality there is starting at 1816, so that is less than 10 minutes. That shadow we can see on our map, it's moving at 2,500 kilometers an hour. That's like 1,500 miles per hour, so it is racing across Mexico. So we are hoping to bring you images of totality from Torreon, courtesy of our friends at the Exploratorium, but it's the story of the day. It is fingers crossed with the clouds. We have seen some beautiful images in Torreon, but we've also seen some very cloudy clouds as well. Yes, anything we can bring you from totality in Torreon, we're going to be sharing that from 1816. We're looking at just over 4 minutes, around 4 minutes and 10 seconds of totality from Torreon, and we're really hoping that we'll be able to share it.
We have our fingers crossed. What are we going to be expecting to see, Graham?
Right. So as we approach totality, we have the crescent sun, which just gets narrower and narrower and narrower as the moon eats away more and more of the sun's disk. Eventually, the crescent gets so thin, and the two horns at either side of the crescent, they get so close that they kind of come together in this one bright jewel of remaining sunlight. Around the same time, we start to see the solar corona around the edge of the moon. This is the outer part of the sun's atmosphere. We can't normally see it because the sun itself is too bright, but if the moon covers the sun, it comes into view. The combination of this bright jewel of remaining sunlight plus the solar corona visible around the edge of the moon, that produces the effect famously known as the diamond ring. From there we move quickly into the Bailey's beads stage of the eclipse. This is just the final blobs of sunlight that we can see actually shining through deep valleys on the edge of the moon's surface. We have these blobs of light. That's the last remaining bit of sunlight we can see before totality begins. Then they disappear. Then the moon is covering the sun's disk completely. Solar corona becomes visible. This kind of ghostly shimmer around the edge of the moon.
Ah, there you go.
Here we are at Torion. We can see, right, narrowing crescent sun. It's looking very faint because of the clouds there in Torion. That crescent is going to get thinner and thinner over the next 6 minutes until it transitions to this diamond ring effect, these final globs of light called Bailey's beads, and then 4 minutes, 10 seconds of totality.
It's magical. I'm very excited. It's even on the screen. But I've got my fingers crossed for Lana here as well, so we're super excited here. We're going to leave you to enjoy totality in Torion. I'm blowing those clouds away with the wind here in Lano, and go to timeofday.live and check out what's going on there. There's going to be pictures, reactions, there might even be something from up at land there now, who knows? So go in, have a look. We will be back soon, right before totality here in Lano, but in the meantime, enjoy, and we will see you back here in a few minutes.
nhớ rằng nó không gì lâu sợ là mẹ bố nè chỉ chua lên nè cho mẹ đó chị cũ lần trước mẹ miễn chỉ lên để nó sẽ chị cũ ya do bài tạo ra nó phải chuyện nè chị mẹ sai nè cho mẹ rồi này mày xem chân này ra này hai tàn trò luôn này. 大了，太大就大球了。单炒了，小朋友，太单炒了，所以没这个。 Lên nó gió tẩy nè. Tí tẩy rồi nè, tí tẩy rồi nè. Tí tẩy nè nè. Tí tẩy rồi nè. Asa? Agak warna latte. Nah,
อ๋อสุริยุปราคาเหรอ
ตอนนี้เริ่มต้นจากการแต่แล้วลูกดีจากการแต่แล้วเจ๊อีปลาเจ๊ก็อีปลาก็ลูกไส้เนี่ยอยากถอดตีอยากถอดตีคืออยากลูกจากการแต่ต่างไปอ่ะลูกจากการแต่ต่างคือเปลี่ยนสีหน้าต่างนะถอดหน้าที่เทามาต่อพอหน้าที่อยู่ว่าถอดหน้าที่เริ่มออกไปแล้วเจ๊อีปลาเจ๊ก็หนักเขาแล้วก็นั้นแล้วนะเจ๊ก็สต็อกนี่ก็สต็อกแล้วก็แต่เจ๊ก็หมายรู้เนาะรู้เนาะเจ๊ก็เลยหมายรู้สต็อกสนองนะ
ไม่เข้าใจอันที่พ่อบอกเนี่ยค่ะนี่คืออะไรนะ
อย่าเรียกกูเจ๋งอย่าไล่มา
ไลฟ์สด
ไล่สดมา
แล้วเขานับไส้เอาช่าง
เขาไม่ต้อง
อ๋อ
เขาไม่อยากกูอย่าไล่สดถ่ายทอดไล่สดของเขาไม่เป็น YouTube ของเขาก็จะรุ่นนั้นนะรุ่นบีรุ่นนั้นนะ OBS นะใช่ไหมก็ใช่ว่านี่ปีแต่แล้วไปอ่ะ
เราให้มันเป็นวงกลมหมดใช่ไหม
แถววันนี้เริ่ม
เหลืองเป็นวงกลมหมดเหรอ
แถววันนี้เตะตาแล้วนะเจ๊ก็แบบรุ่นสต็อกแล้ว
stop เสร็จ
สต็อกเสร็จเจ๊ก็รุ่นนั้นนะเจ๊ก็มาเรื่องสต็อกเลยเนาะให้มันไล่ Facebookยังก็สร้างหรือเปลี่ยนนะจะก็เปลี่ยนเอาตัว YouTube
Well, that was a tutorial on Mexico. Wow, thank you so much, Exploratorium. That was just
ก็จะว่าพวกเราย้อนจบดูดีแล้วนะ
everyone's getting excited around here. Feeling me, my heart's pounding. There's chattering, there's music, there's eclipse glasses up in the sky because the light is really changing here. The sky is clear, and we're going to be seeing this total solar eclipse, and I can't even breathe thinking about it. I'm so excited. So, Graham,
เริ่มต้น2538
Graham, help me
เริ่มต้น
out.
สมัยปีปุกกี้เดี๋ยวย้อนไป
Okay,
ที่
let's think. Checking in on our eclipse map there. We
ที่
can
แปล
see
กันนานเรื่อง
the
OBS
dark part of the
กับ
moon
ปีน
shadow.
OBS ต่างกันมันเรื่องปีใน YouTube
A small red dot that is racing across
ก็เรื่อง
the
หนัก
map
นะครับ
at around about 2,500 kilometers an hour.
นาปิดเขาที่อันนี้มันเต็มเหรอ
It is just
ต่อ
about
เขาแล้วเต็มจบ
Mexico.
ตอนนี้ยังไม่เต็มจ้ะ
The United States. So totality
อีจ้าผมเดียว
bound to hit
โอเค
the USA. We have two
ที่
locations
เขาก็
marked
ตาจะจัดเลยที่เขาก็ปิดไปก็ตาจะก็เลยแบบปิดนั่งเลยไลฟ์สดใน
Both
ติ๊ก
those
ต็อก
locations, that's us here in Llano in Texas. The second marker there is Arkadelphia in Arkansas. That's where we have our time and date telescopes waiting for totality there. Just a quick reminder that the sun is 90% eclipsed here, but still eclipse glasses are vitally important. Even when there's just the tiniest slither of the moon's crescent remaining, even through the diamond ring and Bailey's beads, eclipse glasses should be used to see any part of the sun. Once the sun is completely covered by the moon. Once Bailey's beads has finished, once we're into totality, then eclipse glasses can be removed, and in fact should be removed, must be removed for enjoying the solar corona that surrounds the sun. The solar corona is about as bright as the full moon, so perfectly okay to look at the solar corona without eclipse glasses, as long as the sun's disk itself is completely covered by the moon.
Yeah. And here on this wide angle shot, we're going to show you how dark it gets here. Unfortunately, we don't have a telescope. We have our glasses, and we will be looking up, and we will have totality coming up, telescope views coming up from Arkadelphia and Burlington. Fingers crossed, clouds and all. But yes, tornado really, really well for me, so now I don't know how to deal with anything anymore. The light is changing. It's just really, really kind of silvery, and you can almost like touch it. It does not feel like twilight. It's like white twilight. The temperature is dropping. We were in 32 degrees Celsius here. It's now down to 25. I can feel it. It's not only goosebumps, it's also the temperature dropping. The birds are they doing anything yet? They're chirping away?
There's certainly a lot of chirping going on. I think certainly now, right, in the last few minutes, the light levels noticeably have really started to drop here, and that drop is going to continue in the next 6 minutes until the final minute before totality. That's when we have this sudden plunge in the light level, and that's what we're going to be sharing on our kind of. Anna and I are going to sort of clear out the way of this image of the visitor center here in Milan, and we will have what have we got? We've got 4 minutes. 20 seconds of totality, going to be starting at 18:34 UTC.
บอกเขาก่อนทำไงอ่ะกดโอเคแปะคุณแปลวิ่งมานั่งในนี้กันไปเลย ต่อกันเลยแล้วกันบอกว่าอะไรบอกว่าอะไรเป็นไรส่วนอยู่แล้วรับการแนะนำได้ถูกจำกัดอันนี้โดนบังคือพระอาทิตย์นี่ทำไงอ่ะกดโอเคไว้แล้วกันมันได้ยินเสียงนะ
This is the total solar eclipse of April 2024, live on timeanddate.com, and we've just had a little over 4 minutes of totality here in Llano, Texas. You were watching our wide-angle camera view on the Llano Visitors Center here. I think you saw how amazingly quickly the light level dropped just before totality, and just how quickly the light came back after totality as well. Anna, how are you doing here?
I don't know, maybe I'll cry on TV. I am so overwhelmed. It was magical. It's like someone pokes a hole in the sky. Just dogs barking, birds flapping about, people cheering. It really is magical.
Yeah, there's a public viewing area just on the other side of the river to us here in Llano. There was a wonderful cheer went up as the last bit of the sun disappeared and the solar corona popped out in the sky. And there was also just this lovely cheer at the end when the sun came back as well. Yeah, that was quite special.
Yeah, it's just like a black hole in the sky, and it's the silvery light. I can't explain it. It's not like twilight. It's just so silver, and it's just breathtaking. And if my heart was pounding earlier, it's just, yeah. Sorry, you guys. I don't have any words. I am blown away, and it really is to show how magical these experiences are. It's just, yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, the eclipse continues as the moon's shadow races across the United States. So on our live eclipse map there, just above us on the right-hand side of the screen, we can see that the moon's dark shadow, it's now left Llano. It's halfway between Llano, Texas and Arkadelphia, Arkansas. On our main image on the screen there, this is the telescope image coming in from Arkadelphia, from our time and date telescopes on the ground there. That's Constantine and Jeremy getting us, wow, fantastic images there as just that crescent sun gets thinner and thinner and thinner in Arkadelphia. Totality is starting there at 1849, so we're just about 4 minutes away there. A shorter totality, Arkadelphia is slightly nearer the edge of the path of totality than Llano. We'll have just over 2 minutes, about 2 minutes and 12 seconds of totality coming up in Arkadelphia, starting just in the next few minutes. So the totality in Llano, we showed that on the wide screen. For the totality in Arkadelphia, we're going to enjoy that one through the telescope view there. We still have, by the way, let's not forget Burlington in Vermont, up in the northeastern corner. The partial eclipse is going great guns there. Totality in Burlington coming up at 1926, so still a lot of
emotions to go through.
Absolutely. But yeah, things are getting really exciting in Arkadelphia. So we're gonna leave you to enjoy just over 2 minutes of totality there in Arkadelphia, and we will be back after that. Don't forget also timeanddate.live for all the latest photos and updates, comments about the eclipse, and Anna's going to have a little lie down, and we are going to be back after totality in Arkadelphia. welcome back to this total solar eclipse on thaumandbait.com. And we have to say, we really hope that that lots of people across North America are being as fortunate as we've been today with the weather. Right here, we've had 3 spectacular totalities so far from Torreon, here in Llano, and from Arkadelphia. And in particular, we saw some lovely effects through our telescope feed there from Arkadelphia, especially some prominences around the edge of the sun. These sort of little spikes coming off the edge of the sun. We were talking earlier about sunspots, and at the moment there are maybe fewer sunspots than we might expect at this time, because we are nearing kind of the peak period of solar activity. So on the face of the sun, we kind of had a disappointingly few sunspots, but around the edge of the sun, we have been treated to some really spectacular.
We could see it with the naked eye when we were looking at it in the sky here in London as well, the prominences.
Right, yeah, just exactly right. With the naked eye, we could just see this sort of bright red sort of spike on one side of the sun. So we've been really fortunate with that. We also got some beautiful images there of the solar corona as seen through the telescopes from Arkadelphia as well.
And it was that even round corona that you were mentioning.
That's right. Yes, because we are near the solar max, as it's known, the kind of the peak period of solar activity. That's when we generally have a more symmetrical solar corona. And yes, we did see that in our pictures there. We should say, actually, on that subject, we are continuing to get questions and comments on YouTube, and we did have a follow-up question to our discussion about sunspots and solar activity. A lot of people asking about exactly when is solar maximum going to be? When do we actually reach the peak of this 11-year cycle of solar activity? And the short answer is we don't know for sure. The sun is always a bit unpredictable. We are expecting it around July next year. Is estimated to be the peak. But we don't know for sure at this stage. But yes, we saw a lovely solar corona. We saw some fabulous prominences around the edge of the sun. And Anna, kind of from the view looking up from the ground, what else were the highlights, from the ground?
Well, I'm still trying to calm down from that experience, but I'm doing better at it. You see Graham taking over and taking care of me here. All that talk about clouds, and to see the moon and the sun meet in the sky is just completely overwhelming. We did talk about the birds flying around, we talked about dogs barking, people cheering across the river, super excited, all those things. But also just the temperature. It dropped 10 degrees Celsius. I can really feel it warming up again now, like I might need to take my jumper off at some point. But it went from 32 degrees Celsius down to 22 degrees Celsius in that time, and now it's warming up again. I had a little lie down on the ground. I looked up, I saw Venus, I saw Jupiter, and then the corona, the round, beautiful corona. It was all as you see it here on the telescope, but just a bit more context in it. So it was just beautiful.
Yeah, wow, great stuff. Checking in on our eclipse map there. We can see the moon's shadow continuing to speed across the United States. The next marker we have on our map there, that's up in Burlington, Vermont. That's where we have Stefan on the ground there in Burlington. He's been getting some fantastic help and support from the organizers there in Burlington, and yeah, at the moment, looking good. There, and lovely clear image of the eclipse happening there. Totality in Burlington, well, we have that also on our timeline there on the left-hand side of the screen. That's coming up at 1926.
So just under half an hour.
So, yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, it's
No,
more like quarter of an hour.
True.
Yes.
True.
And we'll have a little over 3 minutes of totality in Burlington. Looking back at our eclipse map, the numbers there are beneath the map. The numbers on the right show the speed of the moon's shadow, and we can see that as it now gets towards the end of the path of totality, the speed of the moon's shadow is slowly rising. And just as we look at those numbers, we can see them slowly ticking upwards. This is because the moon's shadow is moving across the globe, and as it gets towards the edge of the globe, the Earth is curving away from the shadow. So when we see the shadow on the map here, moving across the surface, its speed is increasing on the map because it's actually kind of skimming off the edge of the globe as the Earth kind of curves away from it. So we'll see that speed continue to tick up towards the end of this eclipse.
So it is though Stefan is close to the centre line there up in Burlington, Vermont. He's up at the Science Museum there. His totality won't be 4 minutes and 24 seconds like here.
That's right. That's one of the things that affects the length of totality at different locations. Yeah, one of the factors is how close you are to the center of the path, and that was really the big difference between Llano and Arkadelphia in terms of our difference there. We had about a 2-minute difference in the length of totality. We were pretty much in the same part of the country. The difference there was that, yeah, Llano very close to the center of the path, and Arkadelphia was much nearer the edge. Yeah, Burlington and up in the northeast corner, totality time are coming down because, yeah, the moon's shadow is moving across the map more quickly. Exactly right. Yes. So that is the next highlight coming up, totality in Burlington in 1926. Stay with us on timeanddate.live. Don't forget to check out our amazing blog where Alpana is posting fabulous images and reactions from people across North America, and Anna and I will be back here very soon.
You're watching the total solar eclipse here on timeanddate.com. We're live from Lano, Texas. There's live music, there's energy, everybody's really happy. We saw totality. I'm feeling a few raindrops, so it's all good. We saw totality. We've got another amazing totality to come, so it's all happening still. Yeah, what are we supposed to look for next?
Absolutely. Well, just to say that we can keep an eye out for some of these prominences. We've seen some great examples of these today. Just to recap, the sun is this big ball of plasma, these charged particles. There's magnetic fields twisting and turning through the sun, and they can cause these eruptions of plasma up, away from the sun's surface, and that produces these sharp spikes of plasma that we've seen some dramatic examples of today. So something to look out for during the next totality.
Right. We will leave you so you can enjoy totality in Burlington, Vermont, and we'll see you back up. You're watching a total solar eclipse here on timeandbit.com. We're streaming live from Lano. There's still a partial in the sky. It is behind clouds again. The clouds just opened for the eclipse, went whoa, and it opened up, and we got to see it. Nature is back to normal. People are getting in their car. They're cars. They're packing up. We're not packing up. We've still got more fun to go here, and it's just all still happening. And yeah, there's a few drip drips from the clouds there actually. A little bit of mugginess. I've got my shirt off, so yeah, back to normal, huh?
It is. Things are really back to normal, absolutely. And we have enjoyed some spectacular totalities from the time and date telescope teams out across the United States today. We saw amazing totality from Arkadelphia, Arkansas. That was from Konstantin Vikos and Jeremy Krauss running the telescopes there. They were, Anna, supposed to be here
Yes.
with us in Lano, but the forecasts have been so changeable over the past few days that yesterday, breakfast time, they took the final decision to head northeast up into Arkansas, and wow, they picked a fantastic spot. They really read the weather maps perfectly, and they got these fantastic images. And, yeah, that was terrific stuff. Our second time and date totality came from Burlington, Vermont. That is time and date's CEO and chief eclipse chaser.
Yes. Extraordinary.
Extraordinary, right? Stefan Thorsen, and wow, again, spectacular telescope view of totality from Vermont.
But I still can't get over that view of it getting dark. Now, we had to get out of the way during totality here in Lano, but now we got to see how dark it gets on the screen as well. People on the banks of the water, they're just
absolutely
reacting to that.
Yeah. Actually, another nice thing we saw on that wide-angle view in Vermont is that we also saw, we saw that things went dark, but we also saw around close to the horizon, we saw that there was still a bit of light there. The moon's dark shadow, by the time it reaches Earth, it is quite small. And in that view from Burlington, we could see kind of the brighter edge of the shadow there. By the way, it has just started raining.
It is dripping here on our...
in Lano, Texas. Yes, it just proving how fortunate we've been. We will be talking to Stefan in Burlington in about 15 minutes' time, so we can find out more about his adventures in the Northeast.
Yes. We're getting questions again on YouTube. People are curious. They're asking questions. It's wonderful. So why does the eclipse move from west to east?
Right, we can see on our live eclipse map there, and by the way, we can see that the totality shadow there is just about to leave land there. That is the final bit of Canada that is experiencing totality now. Then the moon's shadow moving out into the Atlantic, and we'll be finishing worldwide, and 1955 will be the last spot on the globe to see totality today. That will be out in the middle of the North Atlantic. The question is, right, why is the shadow moving to the east when the sun and the moon, as we see them, move to the west? Well, it is true that the sun and the moon, they rise in the east, they travel across the sky, and they set in the west. But that's not to do with the movement of the moon. That's to do with the Earth's rotation, creating the movement of those bodies in the sky. In fact, the moon does move in the other direction. The moon does move from the west to the east. If you look at the moon's movement across the background of the stars, for example, you will see that from one night to the next, it is slowly moving in an eastwards direction against the background of the stars. Now the whole thing is moving across our sky towards the west as the Earth rotates, but actually the movement of the moon itself is in the opposite direction, towards the east. And so we see that at solar eclipses, solar eclipses always begin somewhere in the world at sunrise, and the shadow and the eclipse path moves to the east and ends at sunset in another part of the globe.
Yeah. There you go. There's more information about that on our live news feed on Time for That's Not Live. There's links to all kinds of interesting articles about eclipses. There's reactions to the eclipse in there, so go and have a look. And we're going to be back very soon with Stefan Thorsten, our chief eclipse chaser, very soon. still watching a total solar eclipse here in Llano, Texas. It has ended, unfortunately. I did put on my eclipse glasses and see the moon say goodbye to the sun. It was very special, that as well. I'm laughing.
and we should also add that we have removed that live eclipse map now that was showing us the position of the moon's dark shadow on the surface of the Earth. That's because that shadow has now left the surface of the Earth. Totality ended in the North Atlantic at 1955, so about 8 minutes ago. And that part of the moon's shadow, the part that causes total solar eclipses, it won't touch the globe again until August 2026. And that's the next time we'll see a total solar eclipse anywhere in the world.
Wow. That's a month now, but still, we'll be there.
Oh, we'll be there for that month, yes.
So we've been looking around, the traffic is building up on the road, sirens are going on, police is trying to weave through the traffic. Llano is split by a river, so there's a bridge across, single lane on each side, and that was something they were worried about with clouds. So maybe the clouds actually helped it being quite a safe eclipse here in Llano. But in Burlington, things are still going on. Stefan Torsen, he delivered some amazing images of the moon and the sun and the crowds at Echo Science Museum, and we want to say a big, big, big thank you to Nina and Travis for helping him out there. And we can get Stefan on now.
Hello.
Hi, Stefan.
Hi, Anna Graham.
Hey, Stefan, good to see you. And hey,
Yeah.
yes. The first thing we want to ask you, Stefan, is we had our Texas team down here where we were planning to have our telescopes here in Llano, Texas, but at the last minute, Konstantin and Jeremy decided to spread our bets, and they headed off to Arkansas. But you, Stefan, were always planning to pick your location in the northeastern United States, at the last moment, deciding, almost the day before where your location was going to be. So, why did you decide to leave it so late, to pick a location? And, how did you eventually end up in Burlington, Vermont?
The weather is generally not that great in this area of the US, so it's very hard to kind of make a commitment at a single place because, Texas is a more likely place to have good weather. That's why we picked that you were there, obviously. But for us, we flew into New York and had that as a base with a rental car there, so we could go quite far in any direction, more or less, of the path. New York is outside of the totality path, but still is kind of close to a lot of places in the totality path. And we also had an option of flying out of New York to a bit more remote locations, because New York obviously has kind of a good number of flights. So that was we actually had an option to fly to Indiana and fly and get a rental car there, but we didn't exercise that option. So we did decide on Burlington after trying to find, we kind of saw the weather was going, the forecast, where actually turning this area, which is generally the worst area in terms of chance of seeing it. And when it turned out to actually be the best, we decided to go here. But the final decision was actually made this morning, the final decision.
Yeah, fantastic. And great call, Stefan. You called it just perfectly on that. And it has been strange, actually, how the weather did sort of turn around. That, we were historically expecting much better weather down in the southwest. But, really, the northeast had much better things.
Yeah. So, Stefan, we've been stressed over here and feeling the emotional impact of the eclipse. And you've been making decisions really on the fly. So how does it feel now that totality and the amazingness. And how was it for you to experience this eclipse?
And then the kind of the biggest fear is that you go to a place where you can't see it because and you can't stream it. So there were clouds coming in, and we had clouds almost all day, but they'd be very high clouds, and the telescopes do a good job kind of watching through them. So and I haven't tried that before in a solar eclipse, how it actually looks. So I was a bit sort of uncertain if this would be a good thing or not. But I'm very happy that we ended up in Burlington, which has been an amazing place, and the museum people have been super helpful to get us power and internet and our own spot and helping us with everything. So thanks a lot to the Echo Science Museum.
And did you cry like me?
No, I'm not a crier, you know that. So, but it's always you kind of it's amazing, and it was nice actually to have that. The kids actually felt like it lasted a bit anyway. So instead of it's still 1 minute left anyway. That's great. Because you're a bit busy in the beginning with tuning everything your equipment, and then you actually get a little bit of time to enjoy it. In the previous eclipse in Australia, I had was nearly a minute, and I had like maybe 5 seconds I could actually view it with my eyes. Otherwise, I was busy with everything.
Well, you really did. That's amazing, beautiful images, and